It's safe to say that pretty much every great Counter-Strike competitor has a few clips that are, as the kids say, sus.
Shox just wants the engagements here. He wants to shoot people in the face, and he will close the distance if he has to. Look at that, one bullet fired, one man down. He may get taken down from the back though. What is Shox? Are you serious? You can't do this! No!
It doesn't matter if you're Shoxy, Fallen, or the 16-year-old who clapped his cheeks in an online qualifier. If you're inhumanly talented at CSGO, chances are, at some point, you're going to conduct yourself in a manner that appears, well, inhuman.
So I assume there might be one holding T-spawn, but probably just mid.
They're flashing your main.
There he is. Could be mid. He heard that shot, so he might peek into me, so I don't want to overswing. There's the peek. Now it could be one more, but he's probably not here. If he is, he's outside A main, which means he might be peeking from Squeak right here. If not, A main to my left, so I'm going to jiggle this. Yep, he's right there. Come back, peek from a different angle. Hold it. He might re-peek in 3, 2. That's kind of not fair.
But with the exception of Mr. Crisp Clean Locks and those sociopaths on the VACsucks subreddit, nobody actually thinks that the biggest, baddest names in Counter-Strike are all secretly cheating. Over the course of the franchise's 20-year history, innumerable prodigies, pub stars, superstars, and onliners have been witch-hunted because of their propensity for popping melons. And virtually all of them have lived down their so-called hackusations. Except for one. Meet Robin Flusha Ronnquist, a 3-time major winner who, in addition to having one of the biggest brains in CSGO, is one of the game's most controversial figures. But not because of anything he said, rather because of some very dubious plays.
But this is flusha. Yeah. He's the one with the M4. He's still fully set up. He does catch a glimpse of one. He gets the tag. He gets the kill. Oh, how the hell did he pull that off?
20 points of health and sees it so close. And flusha is almost no way he can know this. This is such an unfair situation for flusha, you almost want to say, because great open bomb plant. Very hard to defuse back there. Hiroshima winning a fight against JW, and that's going to leave Crims and flusha in an awful position.
There are obviously clips where I've seen a flusha where it's just like, that's weird. Like that shouldn't happen. That's kind of crazy.
Very hard to defuse back there. Hiroshima against JW.
Mate. What is he even looking at there?
Let me look at it again.
In spite of flusha's countless titles, claims to innocence, and the effort it would have taken him to cheat consistently on LAN for years, his catalog of fishy frags is huge. So huge that people can't help but question whether or not he cheated, even if they're terrified of the answer.
I don't want to think that he was, more so because maybe I'm scared of what if he was, because what would that mean for Counter-Strike?
So what is it that makes flusha CSGO's sussest superstar ever? And what weird explanations have been presented in his defense? And how is it that in spite of all the hate, he's managed to craft a cheeky persona around his notoriety?
It's been like this for the most part of my CS career, I guess, so I couldn't really give a f***.
So in order to understand how all of the controversy surrounding flusha first kicked off, we have to go all the way back to DreamHack Winter 2013, CSGO's first ever major and the Cerebral Swedes breakout event.
flusha in a one-on, if he does this, that'll really cement his role as probably the MVP of this whole tournament. He's already been playing fantastically, but that would be truly something. He's behind the sandbags and they come for him. He gets the first kill. Now it's a 1-on-2 and the bomb is ticking away. He's kind of zoned out here, and that's not good. He has to go back and get a headshot, and they're waiting for it. Get right as low. The bomb is being defused. flusha gets the first kill. He sprays through. They stop defusing, and it's a 1-on-1. flusha's out of bullets. 2 left. He goes down. Flaring, but there's no time. flusha did it. Oh my God! It's gonna be 11-4. What a round!
Back then, the soon-to-be hated rabble-rousers known as Fnatic were still a dark horse. Given that NiP spent a year making Global Offensive their bitch, and the French Very Games roster were their only real challenger, it didn't feel like Fnatic should win the major. But, as fate would have it, they did.
It's a 1-on-2. All Snyder and and JD all they have to do is just wait and buy time, and there it is. They win it, and look at the even Khan jumping up, one of the most composed people I think in Counter-Strike. Complete celebration.
Here's the thing though. Immediately after their impressive performance at DreamHack, Fnatic's results took a nosedive. Like MIBR after they lost Coldzera nosedive. Or just like MIBR at any point ever.
Oh, snap!
Anyway, the point is that despite being the defending champions heading into the second major in Katowice, Fnatic looked like they were losing their edge. And then, in a quarterfinal that they would go on to lose, this happened.
But this is flusha. He's the one with the M4. He's still fully set up. He does catch a glimpse of one. He gets the tag. He gets the kill. Oh, how the hell did he pull that off?
Watch that again.
He does catch a glimpse. He gets the tag. He gets the kill. Oh, how the hell did he pull that off?
You rush on. I mean, it's
Naturally, this sent the community into a bit of a hysteria. Cheats had always been rampant in Counter-Strike, going way back to 1.6. But this wasn't at some 2-bit LAN cafe or an online qualifier. This was a goddamn major.
So I'd like to think he wasn't, but I don't know. I genuinely don't think he was. I think it would be pretty hard to fathom. But then again, I'm not a programmer, and you can hide stuff in the memory of a mouse.
Even in the history going back to like 1.6, like some of the players that we caught cheating back then or admitted to cheating back then were some of the top players at the time as well, and they just wanted that extra edge, as crazy as that sounds. So I mean anyone can be a cheater, and that's like the reality of the situation.
By the summer of 2014, Fnatic, boosted by the acquisition of Olaf Meister and Crims, found themselves resurging. See what I did there? But during their quarterfinal matchup against Na'Vi at ESL 1 Cologne, the team found themselves against the ropes. And it was then that flusha decided to turn it on. I'll leave it up to you to decide what it was.
I don't know. I just know the guy has an amazing mind for the game, without any assistance. So yeah, if he did, it's tough to tell for me. The trigger lock things, those are confusing. I remember there's one on Dust 2, right? On the A ramp, that was a big one. I remember 2 looking at me and like, whoa, what the fuck?
And flusha is almost no way he can know this. This is such an unfair situation for flusha, you almost want to say, because
over the course of 2014, the community became increasingly paranoid about the possibility and prevalence of hacking at CSGO's highest level of play. At first, it felt as if things were being blown a little out of proportion. It wasn't as if the entire professional circuit was filled with cheaters. Right?
He's out in the Russian wilderness just sniping.
Did Emilio just get VAC banned?
What? What? What?
Oh God! What did we just see?
I think this is the first, like an official match. And it's not like, I looked over and I was like, oh, he just got disconnected or whatever. Maybe he's just rebooting. And then you see like VAC.
Later that year, the subject reached a fever pitch when a week before DreamHack Winter 2014, a handful of Tier 1 competitors were wiped out by the VACcening, CSGO's most scandalous ban wave to date. Needless to say, tensions were very high going into the major, and given that Fnatic had gone back to being arguably the best roster in the world, the community started analyzing flusha's gameplay like never before.
If that's not a large jump, I don't know what to say.
From what I've heard, there's a definitely possibility, especially before the gear check started happening, that people could have done something, and now I'm just enabling I'm just sprinkling gasoline on the VACsucks subreddit, but yeah.
Hell, even some of his peers started drinking the haterade.
Сейчас посмотрим на читерские настройки. Что у него там за читерские настройки?
мышкой прямо написано, что там, читы, сука. Ах ты читер, сука, ах ты читак, все сел тут, да?
Je regarde toutes les vidéos de flusha.
Hein? Sérieux, quoi, démo ou les vidéos qui circulent sur le net là?
Il est chelou, flusha quand même.
Je regarde les vidéos qui circulent et il y en a quand même, franchement, c'est abusé.
The issue is that come 2015, flusha did anything but settle down. Not only did he help Fnatic secure innumerable tournament wins, including 2 back-to-back majors, but his clips continued to be stunningly suspicious.
Great open bomb plant, very hard to defuse back there. Kiyoshima winning a fight against JW, and that's going to leave Crims and flusha in.
Can this guy, as many times as he's done, go up in front of not only a giant fucking crowd and stadium, but hundreds of thousands of people online, and play and compete against these people that are his real life friends for years and years and years, and cheat them out of hundreds of thousands of dollars multiple times over again?
Naturally, the constant paranoia started getting in the heads of his opponents.
I was super hesitant, always, just because the same thing happened to me in 1.6. I'm not going to say I was convinced 100% either way, because it's just like, it didn't, first of all, it didn't like, wasn't worth it for me to spend all night thinking about this. I was just kind of refreshing HLTV.org at the time, seeing like who's going to get banned today. But like thinking about it more than that was only going to like get in my head if I was going to play against these guys on LAN, so I couldn't let it do that.
Needless to say, flusha maintained his innocence, claiming that 1, he lifted his mouse more than the average player, and 2, that he was just that cerebral that he just knew where everyone was.
I just feel like I can read every player so well. Like I know what they're doing just by the sound they're making, so it doesn't really give me a hard time doing it. I just always know what they're doing, really. It's been like this for the most part of my CS career, I guess, so I couldn't really give a f***.
There was even this crazy story that began circulating about how flusha's playstyle had developed while playing on a computer that suffered catastrophic frame drops, forcing him to predict where his opponents would be on the server.
It was just funny seeing the way that was rationalized, and the idea that, you know, this trash can of a computer has influenced so many of his decisions and how he's played the game and his playstyle that he's selected to be this beast that he is. It's just a ludicrous story.
And then, about midway through 2016, flusha and the rest of Fnatic finally began to cool off. Now, not only was the game becoming increasingly competitive, but coincidentally, Valve had finally started to buckle down on CSGO's unbearable cheater problem. And even though flusha looked to be falling off a bit, and his clips weren't nearly as suspicious as before, the community couldn't help but scrutinize his every waking frag.
Could spot out Guardian, but the cavalry has arrived. Flamey is already on the site, and while Caesar's rotated around, how does flusha find him in the smoke like that?
See, that's the thing. flusha is one of the most absurdly big-brained bullies ever to step foot on a Counter-Strike server. And in spite of all the suspicion around his play, no one could deny that a lot of the time, the dude was just better.
Yeah, and there's no rush here for Guardian. Guardian does not have to play aggressively here. flusha. Are you kidding me, flusha?
This is so intelligent. No, no one's going to check here. He's waiting. He wants to know where Starix is. flusha is playing a masterful game. This is the absolute highest level of Counter-Strike right now. Beautiful, beautiful round from flusha. He deserves to get this. He's going to walk out. Guardian has no idea that's the kill. They've wasted so much time. flusha, he may have just done it, but he's going to go down. And there's no time. He did it anyway.
flusha was always, I felt like, so keyed in to these little nuances in the meta where he's like, okay, I know where everyone's at, and I know this guy is going to try to get testy with me at B, so he's just going to do some weird timing thing, and he'll just destroy the guy. The back Reddit, or whatever the band Reddit is called, they would look at his timing, and they would focus only on him, like, oh, look at this timing. I'm like, yeah, just because you guys have never, like, put this much thought into anything in your life, aside from trying to find cheaters, it doesn't mean the guy's wall hacking.
No matter how many times flusha proclaimed his innocence, the community refused to believe him. And so he opted to run with it instead, ingeniously dubbing himself Senor Vac.
Can't get over the fact that his shirt says Senor Vac. It's so ridiculous, isn't it?
He just owns it, man.
He leaned into it. He was feeding the trolls in that sense. He was like, yeah, you guys are calling me out. Fine, I'll keep doing it too. And you know what? I'll make it even more obvious. And let's see, what are you guys going to do about it? You know, I'm still going to be over here winning. I don't care.
Listen, I'm not going to bullshit. There's some of those clips are obviously sketchy. Some of those clips are obviously weird. But again, you can't do anything about it. And the best part is Flush has handled it, I mean, damn near perfectly. The way he's handled the whole controversy, the way he's leaned into it with Senor Vac like this, he's done such a good job of turning it into like a facet of his persona and a facet of just professional Counter-Strike.
To this day, it isn't clear what to make of Flusha's catalog of incriminating clips, both in terms of how questionable they are and just how many of them there are. Could Flusha have cheated? It's possible. Did he? Barring some kind of admission, there's virtually no way we'll ever know.
If it happened, he beat the game. Like, I don't know, there's no other way to do it. Because you can't go back now and like retroactively, you know, enforce that justice on him. And there's I don't even think there's any way to retroactively go back and actually, even if we develop some like crazy AI system, you know, 1 year down the road that could 100% detect cheats, I don't even know if they'd be able to go back and like, you know, review a demo and detect it or anything like that.
What we do know is that after 6 years of people swearing on their lives that Flusha is a dirty, filthy cheater, there has never been a shred of hard evidence to support that claim.
Is Flusha hacking? I guess that's up to everyone else's opinion.
And even though it's been a little while since Flusha produced a truly fishy frag, he's still routinely making CSGO fans question everything they thought was possible in the game.
However, definitely spots him. Oh, not only does he spot him, thank you very much!
Oh, wow. No way. No way he wins this.
And not only that, he's caused a full rotation from Ivy, from Rain, and sort of inside of ZConnector. Flusha gets one more kill on this. Lekro's got the whole map to play with. He's hoping that Flusha can anchor this position down, but he has the option to go back to A. And look at Flusha. Oh my god. This would be a harsh reset on 14 rounds for Fnatic, and that smoke is tantalizing! Flusha! He's gonna clean out Connector! He figures this out. Now this is interesting because now it's return favor. Nico's snuck around behind Flusha, and he could actually spoil the whole plan, as sneaky as Flusha was. Oh my god!
It's all going according to plan right now. 14 seconds on the clock on Flusha. He's counting it. He's still hiding back there. That's one kill. That's the balls to Flusha! An absolutely genius move. They finally take him, but that is too late. They brought the fight onto Fnatic's playground, and they took all of their toys and sent them packing.
Yeah, he's got a smoke. That's about as good as it gets. No kip. Drops the smoke on the site, trying to buy him. What?
Sick no scope. Does he get this, dude? Tarek alone. 1v1 versus Flusha. Flusha dancing, man. Flusha dancing around. Gonna spot him, and he gets it done. He has no nades, though. And Guardian's got the angle here. Unbelievable. Hits the headshot regardless, and now it's into the 1v1. C's is holding close to the connector. Will Flusha be able to figure this out? Seems to have an idea of it. That's he could be luring. Oh my god, the whooping headshot from Flusha. Lifted, let's go.
And honestly, if you're gonna tear down a 3-time major champion, one of the clutchest and most accomplished competitors Counter-Strike has ever seen, you're gonna have to do better than a few head-scratching clips. But of course Flusha knows that, and has spent years thumbing his nose accordingly.
Where's the aimbot? I've never used aimbot, man. I have wall hacks though.
And look, as crazy as it might sound, you gotta admit that there's something kind of badass about that.
The mystery around whether he cheated or not is actually, I don't know, I find it in a certain way kind of cool. I mean, I know that's like insane to say, but I really like the way he's built that legend around it.
Whether you like it or not, Senor Vac has ingrained himself into the very fabric of Counter-Strike. He's a specter of death and uncertainty, whose deep, dark, dank dump strings will forever aggravate and excite his scene.
If it does come out, you know, if he ever comes out, you know, a year from now and admits to it, or if he ever gets caught for whatever reason, then there should be massive consequences. But until that happens, then, you know, let's just enjoy the Flusha ride, because I've been having a fun time with it, and I love everything about it for the moment. Until it gets ruined, I'm buckled in. I'm ready. I'm here for the whole thing.
But flusha, a little bit more of elephantitis. And oh, finds the angle onto Olaf and the info on the other one. Surely not a 1v3 from flusha. Rain. Oh! See you later, nerd.
See this shit? Like, I'm trying to think of a way to, like, just really, like,